The future is bright indeed. We're all of us dreaming of the better days ahead, and a part of your bright new future could be a move to where the magic lives in the greater Orlando area of Florida. One of the biggest decisions you'll make when considering a move is selecting a realtor who can successfully match you with the right home in the right location at the right price. Victor Naraki is the realtor who can help you make the move you've always wanted to. Whether you're a first-time homeowner or looking to move near Disney World, Victor is in your corner. If you are looking for an experienced real estate agent covering all of Central Florida, please visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today and find out just why you should work with Victor. I encourage you to create a free, no-obligation account on his website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to your email. Visit DisneyAtYourDoorstep.com today or visit his Facebook page, Victor Naraki Realtor. And don't forget to tell him the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you.
Welcome to Disneyland Forever, where you can create your own custom CD of rare Disneyland music and sounds, or create a personalized audio disc based upon pre-selected soundtracks. Once you've made your selections, your custom CD will be created right before your eyes. To begin, please touch anywhere on the screen.
I'm totally not recording.
Yes, I'm not falling for that.
Darn. I thought if you had a year off, maybe you'd forgotten my tricks, my schemes, my shenanigans.
I'm not that gullible, Jay. Come on.
Legendary. Aloha, everyone. Welcome back to the Grand Circle Tour. Jungle Skipper Jay, and I am with my one favorite co-host. She's back, and I had to get to her before anybody else. Kris, welcome back to the music shop here.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so happy to be here with you. I love doing these music reviews, and this one is going to be a good one. So.
And we have a very, very different kind of music review today. It's not something available through Disney. I got these on iTunes. At the time of recording, they're $6.99 a piece. Go ahead and pay the $10 for it. You'll love it. We're talking about the soundtrack / score to the video games, Star Wars Battlefronts 1 and 2. So, Kris, have you heard of these games? When I messaged you out of the blue on Saturday and went,
No.
You want to do some music with me?
And I'm like, oh, yes, let's do music. And then you laid this on me I'm like, what are these? I had no clue. So I had to go and look it up on YouTube. It's very easy to find. So if anybody wants to check it out, it's a great place to listen to it and then make a purchase. These are absolutely phenomenal.
So,
I was pleasantly surprised. So
you know nothing about the Battlefront franchise other than it's Star Wars. What's your impression? What did you think when I said, oh my God, go listen to this?
Okay, so I'm a big Star Wars fan. So when I saw Star Wars Battlefront, I'm like, okay, what is this? Well, anything Star Wars, I figure I'm going to love. And I was not wrong. Both of these pieces are absolutely incredible. And the one thing that hit me the most in my head was I want to listen to these and read my Star Wars books.
Oh, nice. So this is because one of the great things I found about this is what this composer does. Yes, it's all new material, but the way he does it, he's like a good gardener. He plucks a piece out of about 60, maybe 90 seconds, and then builds a whole new piece around it.
Yeah. I told you at the beginning before we even started recording that I have stars next to a bunch of the pieces. I have double stars next to some of them. And I was absolutely blown away by this.
I took the Pepsi challenge when I got these, and I dropped them in I have a playlist on my phone. I have the original soundtrack anthology for the Orig Tridge, as I'm calling it, and I'm trying to get everyone else to call it now, Orig Tridge, which is the definitive soundtrack for those movies.
Yes.
And these sounded like they have always been there.
Yes.
And that's what blows me away.
Yeah, like they could be shoehorned right in to sections of the original stuff, and you would not know.
You would not know the difference.
No.
So I guess we should explain what Battlefront is. Kris, what would you like to know about the Battlefront series?
I guess the big thing for me is to know timeline things of how this fits in to the original Star Wars stories.
Okay, so I am going to do this as briefly as I can so that everyone understands video game stuff here. The first game came out in 2015. It's a multiplayer game. Me as a middle-aged man who was 4 when Empire came out, these games to me are as close to laying on the floor and just banging my Star Wars toys together as I can possibly get at this age without doing it.
Okay.
It's just a good time. Everyone's there. All your favorites are there. Han, Leia, Vader, everyone. You can just play with everyone. You can play as troopers. You can play a ship. Now, the first game has nothing to do with canon. It's just a fun romp through the original trilogy and Rogue One. And like I said, it's me playing with my Star Wars toys.
Okay.
Now, the second game actually has a story, and the soundtrack of the second game is to what's called the campaign mode, which is the story. In Battlefront 2, you have many different multiplayer options, but you can also play a story, a full Star Wars story that's in canon. It's about a Imperial named Iden Versio. She's the head of Imperial Special Forces, and it's her journey as a badass Imperial who becomes a rebel after the Empire destroys her home planet.
Oh, okay.
So it's this journey from bad to good, and how her values change, and really great character, really just fantastic Star Wars story. I have her figure, her Black Series figure, and her Lego minifigure. She's that cool.
And her theme in the Battlefront 2, the theme song for her is amazing.
This is a character I think you would really enjoy. I think the book is called Inferno Squad.
Okay.
But I think this is a character you will really, really like, I think.
Okay, cool. I'll have to check that out because I love reading Star Wars books.
Yeah, and this is a whole new bit of Imperial canon, new Imperial characters. Just nice to take a walk on the dark side of the street in Star Wars here and there.
Right. Well, the Phasma book was absolutely amazing. I could not put it down because it told her whole backstory. And so this, I'm sure, is probably going to be fairly similar to that, where it tells the story of that character before we ever saw it on screen.
Right. And this is a whole new character you can just make up in your head as you read. I think you're really going to like her story.
I will definitely check that out.
So I think we have opposites. My favorite was the first album soundtrack.
Okay.
Your favorite was the second.
I did. I have more stars and more double stars for the tracks that I marked down in the second one. Not that I did not enjoy the first one, because I did. Both of them are absolutely, they blew me away. But the second one, a little bit more. So,
well, tell me about it. Tell me what you like about this album, what impressed you, and what your favorite tracks were.
Okay, so for the first one, the Survivors of Endor, I love that music. My double star,
and I will tell you that is when you play the story mode. That's the very first chapter. That is, you get to see the Battle of Endor from the Imperial side.
Oh, okay.
And then the Imperials on the ground who think they're winning, who then look up in the sky and see the Death Stars destroyed. They've lost their Emperor. They've now lost their war. They've lost everything, and they're trapped on Endor.
Okay. Now, the Juneland Waste, we all know where that is, on Tatooine, and that is Obi-Wan's home. for while he's staying there. And the book that I just got done reading about a month ago was the book called Obi-Wan. And I think that this book is kind of a lead up to what's going to be taking place in the Obi-Wan story on Disney Plus. That's my guess. And this music, I could literally put on and read that book and just see it all. So, because some of the stuff in that book was absolutely.
I want a book
that
report
would be there.
and how these soundtracks like affected your reading.
Mm-hmm. And then Rebel Resistance is another one that I have a double star on. Mm-hmm. That track is really, really good. And then the Graveyard of Giants. You can just picture exactly what is happening in that scene with the title and the sound of this music.
And to put it in context for the audience, that is the Battle of Jakku. That is the final battle between the Empire and the Rebellion. It takes place a year after Endor. And that is actually the planet we see Rey on, with all the crashed Star Destroyers and crashed AT-ATs and all these destruction and waste. That happened on Jakku.
Mm-hmm. And you can vision Rey, where she made her home in those pieces of machinery, and how she lived her life, and you can almost think about that as you're listening to that, and you could see her there. So it kind of all pulls the whole storyline of her too into this. Now the second one, Smugglers Run was one of my favorite tracks.
Yes. From
this one. And Go, Survive, and Live was another one that really had an impactful moment in that music for me.
It's good to hear that, because that is a very sad moment. Her father is an Imperial Admiral, and it's the moment when he tells her he knows he's going to his death, and he says, "Go be a rebel, go live." Go. Okay.
See, that's almost what I could, without even knowing about that character before you told me about Iden, I would never have known that, but I could still kind of get that feel from that track of music.
And actually, one of the all-time great moments in Star Wars games is how she gets to her father. She has to run across the outside of a Star Destroyer as it's crashing to get into the inside to try to save her father. Mm-hmm. One of the best maps I've ever played on a Star Wars game, running across a Star Destroyer, not on a Space Horsey. I'm not throwing shit, but actually running across a crashing Star Destroyer.
Yeah. Now, Iden Reborn is another one that was very impactful. And the Dreadnought was so intense, you could almost feel yourself on one of those ships with that music.
And that is where we flash forward in the game and we see Kylo.
Okay. All right. So how about you? What are your favorites?
I got to be honest. I could not pick a single favorite from this because, like I said, after having played this game for 6.5 years now, all of this music is just, I have it memorized. Note by note, song by track. It was amazing. Like I said, for me, the whole first album is where you go and you listen to a John Williams soundtrack. That is the soundtrack to this movie or that movie. Right. This one kind of like got me in the feels because this is my Star Wars soundtrack. This is my Star Wars story.
Very cool.
Wow, I'm a nerd.
It's okay to be a Star Wars nerd. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Lifelong Star Wars nerd. I think the two of us.
I mean, I have been, I was, of course, a lot older than you when these movies originally came out. I was 18 for the first one. So, but I'm also 60. So I've been a fan for a long time. No, do I know the name of every single secondary character? No, but to me that doesn't matter. I still love the stories, so I don't have to know the names of the characters in these video games to appreciate this.
I think Star Wars, and Gone with the Wind, those are the American fairy tales.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, and I don't think it matters which, even though I have eras I prefer over, let's just be honest, sequels. I think any Star Wars that you love is Star Wars, and you know.
Yeah. Well, you know, the story, like you said, Rogue One, Rebel Rising is the book that I just got done reading.
Mm-hmm.
And that one too, I could picture myself reading that and listening to this and having it just be like the encompassment of that book. Really.
I am reading Tarkin. It's on my shelf. It's one of the next 2 books I'm going to read. I'm going to read with this soundtrack to see how that affects my reading, to see if it does what it's going to do for you.
Mm-hmm. And the new book that I'm starting is the book about Ahsoka.
Oh, is it the one just Ahsoka with it? She's got okay, I've got that in my Kindle. I haven't read it yet.
Yep. I've had it for a while because I ordered several together. Mm-hmm. And I read the Obi-Wan first, and then, or it's called Kenobi actually is the name of the book. And then I read the Rebel Rising, and now I'm going to start, you know, now that we've started to get settled in our new house, I actually have. You heard it here. You heard it here first. She's going to do Star Wars book reviews. Yeah, I might, because I have several. I think you should. So you think everyone should get this album? Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm probably. I think you can get. Can you get them on CD? I don't know. I found these Saturday mornings scrolling around iTunes. They were, like I said, at time of recording, they're $6.99 on iTunes. I'm gonna have to look it up. Maybe they're on Amazon or something. Yeah. And but yeah, I definitely, if I can get a hold of CDs of this, I would definitely buy them. Nice. Because there's not much to really tell the audience unless you've heard it, and it's not something they know. So, and I have a work call in 9 minutes, so we're going to cut it short today. Mm-hmm. But definitely go look it up on YouTube, because if you watch it, I was watching it or listening to it on my TV, and it doesn't name the tracks in there because you don't have the capability to do that. So if you do it on your computer or on your phone, the 2 that I watched, it actually had all the tracks listed, and it had the times that each one of them begins. So you can really get a good idea of what each one of them is as you listen. So, and I want to hear from the listeners. I want you guys to get this. I want you to do the Pepsi challenge. Play this with your Ridge and tell us what you think. Mm-hmm. I spend about an hour a night on the Battlefront. If you'd like to join my team or get annihilated by me, because the best way to come at me is not to. I am a Torchwood Institute on Xbox. Okay. Kris, I'm so happy you're back. Oh, so am I, and I'm so happy to be able to do this with you. Yay! We're gonna have to do another music thing pretty soon. Something quickly. I've got a whole stack of stuff we have to go through. I've got new Disney vinyls on the way. Mm-hmm. But that is the story for another day. Yes, it is. I have my work call in 8 minutes. Ken, get us out of here.
Congratulations! You have now completed the selection and design of your custom CD. Please take the ticket from the kiosk and give it to the cast member at the Disneyland Forever counter. Your custom CD will be created in just a few minutes. Thank you, and we hope you will enjoy your personalized copy of Disneyland Forever.